Hey, Chris Ferdinandi here with another Vanilla.js quick tip. Let's get into it. The array for each and NodeList for each methods provide a simpler way than a for loop to iterate over arrays and node lists while still having access to the index, which is something you don't get with the for of loop. You pass a callback function into the for each method, and the callback itself accepts three arguments: the current item in the loop, the index of the current item in the loop, and the array itself. All three are optional, and you can name them anything you want. In this case, I have an array of sandwiches. I'm going to call the array for each method on it. And in my callback, I'm going to call each item in the loop sandwich and the index. And I don't need the array itself, so I'm going to leave that argument off. And then I'm going to log my index and the sandwich to the console. If we jump over to the browser, you can see that this logs 0 turkey, 1 tuna, 2 ham, and 3 PB&J. You can also use it with node lists. So let's go ahead and comment this out just to cut down on console noise and uncomment this one. And now here, I am not going to save the output of query selector all to a variable. I'm going to look for all of the items in the DOM that have the sandwiches class. I have 4 of them. And I'm going to immediately call the NodeList for each method on it. In my callback, I'm again going to call the current item sandwich, the index. I'm not actually going to use it, but I just want to have a variable here, because what I also want to do is I want to call the array or node list itself, in this case it's a node list, sandwiches. So I'm going to give this a name. And even though we have this sandwiches variable out here, inside this function, sandwiches is going to be the node list that I called this method on. And so when I log each sandwich and then I log sandwiches, it's going to give me a copy of this node list, which I otherwise would have no way to access directly from inside this function unless I had assigned it to a variable previously. And so here you can see I get my first paragraph and then the entire node list, my second paragraph, the entire node list, and so on. And so that argument for the array or the node list, depending on which for each method you're using, is really handy if you haven't defined the array or node list beforehand. Now, one little kind of gotcha or quirk with the for each methods, they have no way to end the loop early. Continue and break don't exist inside a for each method the way they do with a for of, or for in method. Because it's a function, I can use return to get the same behavior as continue. So in this case, if the sandwich equals ham, I am going to skip it. Otherwise, I'm going to log the index and the sandwich. And if I jump over here, you can see we get turkey, tuna, and PB&J, but no ham. But this whole loop has to continue. Like if I, for example, wanted to just end entirely at ham, I have no way to stop the loop from running. It's going to iterate through every item regardless. And so for that reason, I tend to favor the for of loop for this kind of thing, unless I specifically need the index for some reason. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe even share it with someone else who you think might enjoy it. You can also get my daily developer tips newsletter over at gomakethings.com, where every weekday I share a new tip, trick, tool, or Vanilla.js snippet to help you build a simpler and more resilient web. Thanks so much for watching.